Hello, everyone. Oh, really? So Trump says he was being a bit sarcastic when he said numerous times through the course of his election campaign that he would end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours before he even took office. So it was a joke. How fucking funny. You know, it's hilarious when people are getting murdered. It's like super, super fun. So the question is, what else he was being sarcastic around? Maybe like the price of groceries and, I don't know, bringing peace and prosperity and security to this country. Could he have been sarcastic about that too? People who voted for him? Or people who didn't vote at all? Could that be a possibility? Yeah. And once again, I'm not surprised. I mean, this is a guy who called POWs losers and made fun of the disabled. So this does not surprise me. But what surprises me is how many people are only too happy to follow a man who makes jokes about something that involves the loss of human lives, civilians, children. There is some glimmer of hope, and that is that some Americans are starting to maybe get a clue. Now, the poll quoted in this article by Politico is from CNN. I would like to see this confirmed by other sources. I would like somebody more reputable than CNN, somebody trustworthy who had not kissed the ring, to run the polls. But at this time, the CNN poll shows that majority of Americans disagree how Trump is handling the war in Ukraine. When asked whether Trump's approach will bring long-term peace to Ukraine, 41% said that it's at least somewhat likely, 59% disapproved of it, and 55% disapproved of how he handled the situation overall. So there you go. Only 29% said that Trump's approach to this war has been good for the United States. Zelensky is bringing it home again, reminding everybody that Putin is just stalling for time. That's all this is. He is trying to drag this out until his demands are met. And we all know what his demands are. We all know what he wants. And again, this is not theoretical. Remember, this comes from experience, because Ukrainians have done this before. They tried talking some sense into Russia. They tried negotiating 200 times before the full-scale invasion over the course of 8 years. They tried to have a ceasefire 25 times in that time period. It did not work. So why are we following the classic definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result? Now, this is interesting. Look at that second bullet point there. So, one of the points for ceasefire consideration has been from Russia, the demand that the Ukrainian troops currently in Russia's Kursk region, surrender. And Russia has been claiming that they have surrounded those troops. Ukrainians are saying, no, you ain't. What the heck are you talking there? So, Trump is driving this narrative, Russia's narrative, saying that, we should all agree to save the lives of thousands of surrounded Ukrainians, but there are no surrounded Ukrainians. So, again, not only what comes out of Russia, but what comes out of Trump should be treated with extreme caution, because likely it is either false or based on a false premise. Now, Zelensky did say that there is a good chance to end the war quickly, but before everybody jumps on that, there are certain conditions to be met in order to do that. And that involves guarantees of security and active participation by Ukraine's partners. As usual, there is more to this. And again, this is something that doesn't get mentioned enough in the United States media. And that is the responses and involvement of other partners who have not washed their hands off Ukraine and who have not threatened Ukraine and blackmailed Ukraine with the interruption of the aid and so forth. So let's unpack this. UK basically says that Putin's response is not good enough. True, because again, they get it. They understand how this works. They understand, much like Ukrainian government, that Putin is just stalling for time. And again, UK's Keir Starmer is pushing for practical plans on how to support Ukraine by the United Kingdom, but also by all of the other European partners. France and Germany have been very active in this too. Poland and the Baltics are already doing their fair share. Finland is involved, so it's not just, it's not just the three biggest ones. But again, everybody gets it that, what Marco Rubio said, that only diplomatic solution is possible. That no, it's not. It has to be diplomacy supported by an iron fist. There. Right there. If there is a strong response from the United States, they will not let them play around. But that's a big if. And he's right to put a conditional on it, because that's applicable. And again, this piece from The Guardian talks about Putin lying about surrounding Ukrainian troops in the Kursk region. And there's more details on the other partners who participate in the conversation about Ukrainian security, including 25 world leaders. So like I said, it's more than just, the core of the coalition, which currently is the UK, France, and Germany. There's been another massive drone attack launched by Russia. Ukrainian air defenses destroyed most of them. But again, when we destroy them, there is a danger of burning pieces of them falling down and starting fires, causing damage, etc. Now, this is my favorite drone status, locationally lost. Basically, this is where Ukrainians are using the strategy of interfering with the drones' communication frequencies. What this causes to happen is for drone basically to suddenly become mute, deaf, and blind. It doesn't know where it is. It doesn't know where it's going. Some of them self-destruct or crash, and some of them go back where they came from, which is also advantageous because they can be tracked. Russia's deputy foreign minister, is visiting North Korea. Yeah. And EU Foreign Affairs Chief continues talking about the 27-country bloc to supply additional military aid to Ukraine. And then there is this. This is still going on. And again, this puts to shame anything Russia says about wanting peace. A Russian missile struck a residential area in Kryvyi Rih, injuring 11 people, including 2 children. This is still going on.